What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fully Corked podcast. My name is John, and I'm joined here with my co host, Charlie.
Yo.
And we have got another great episode for you all today. We're really excited to bring you a Pinot Noir poppy from Trader Joe's wine aisle, per usual. This is a medium-priced Pinot Noir. It's going to set you back anywhere between $13 to $15 in your local Trader Joe's. So not too bad. Charlie, you will be doing the blind tasting today. I know we're going to save that for a little bit later. Yep. I did read the Trader Joe's sommelier write-up on the 2017 Poppy Pinot. So this is a 2022, but the 2017 Poppy Pinot was described as disappointing at first by the sommelier. This person said that they had high expectations because Trader Joe's had basically touted this as being a very good wine for its price point. And then I guess the Somm had about 4 sips and was about to give it just a terrible review. And then miraculously the wine opened up and it turned into a pleasant drinking experience.
Well, let's hope this isn't as much of a rocky road as that. I mean, that sounds, I guess, like a lot of things in life, you got to keep pushing to get somewhere good, but that's not really how I like my wines. I like it to be instantly rewarding. Yeah. Something honest. That's a good call.
I don't want to have to work too hard to enjoy this one. But that's, again, 2017. This is 2022. We're 5 years of growth apart. Yeah. Hopefully Poppy came correct today. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. I'm more so than most blind tastings. I'm a little nervous on this one. We haven't done a red in a little bit, and on top of that, this might only be my second red blind, and I don't have my safety net of green apple sitting there waiting for me. So I'm gonna have to actually try and guess a flavor that's not just auto. So we'll see how it goes.
You're gonna have to bring your A game. Reds are tougher. I'm excited though. Pinot Noir behind Cabernet is my favorite wine.
We've kind of had a nice trajectory of being successful on some fronts on these and building. I'm going to go with my heart, and I just have a feeling it might not go so well. But, staying positive, I'm drinking enough of the wine to make sure I give it my best shot. But before we get there, anything from the last week that caught your attention, your interest, something you want to discuss?
I had a rowdy Saturday night, which I don't typically do anymore, but friend visiting in town from New Zealand, and I found myself at around 11:30 p.m. busting out a new dance move.
Oh yeah. I love
on the karaoke dueling piano dance floor.
What was the context that inspired the new move, and what was the new move?
I was incorrect. It wasn't actually karaoke. I was treating it as karaoke where I was singing along.
You were doing karaoke out there. Yeah, okay.
I was doing karaoke.
So they were playing bangers. I mean, that's a good vibe.
Yeah. So I can't remember the specific song I was breaking down to, but when I went up to the bartender, he tells me, go give these guys a little extra money. They do something unique where they love to play like Eminem and Tyga
on piano
and all these rap artists, and they'll rap battle each other.
So you made them do Tyga, right? That was your guilty pleasure from long ago?
I didn't have any cash in my wallet. I actually went up to my buddy from New Zealand and I go, do you have any cash on you? And he goes, I have nothing but New Zealand dollars, which are about 70% of USD, which he was saving for his song. He gave me a ruble. That is worth, he gave me 1,000 ruble, which is a one paper slip. Yeah. I think the conversion to USD is 2 cents, maybe.
Let me, I'll get Jamie on that ruble conversion. Are we talking about the Russian ruble?
Potentially. He was recently in Bali, and I believe that's where he was using these rubles. I've never held that currency in my life.
Oh, is it? I'm seeing Indonesian.
It's going to be Indonesian.
Yeah. Oh.
Is it not the ruble?
I'm scared to say this word. Rupiah.
The rupiah?
Dude, 1,000 of those Indonesian bucks is 6.1 cents.
Oh, okay. That's more than the 2 cents that I thought I was giving up.
Didn't get you very far.
Yeah, well, it's probably for the best because end of the day, They were playing great music, a lot of throwbacks, but my dance move that I was busting out is, I think it's Russian of
So it would
origin.
have worked with the ruble too.
I'll try to describe this. It's where you cross your hands on top of each other, but then you hold them suspended in the air, and then you get into a squat. From a squatting position, you start kicking each leg out to the
That's like the
side.
Rasputin dance back in like
Yeah.
it's not DDR, it's that other what's the other dancing game that was like huge when the Wii came out? I'll have Jamie work on that. The other thing I wanted to ask you, was this Silver Cloud, the place you were at?
No, no, so that's a true karaoke bar, which I know you've
Oh,
been in there
I got
too.
fond memories in Silver Cloud.
Yeah, Silver Cloud is a good vibe late at night. No, this was dueling pianos. It was not a karaoke bar. And at one point, they started singing happy birthday to like
Oh.
4 different people in the bar. And I got pushed up as a fifth. I was on the dance floor doing my Rasputin dance. And all of a sudden, people started shoving me up to like, you had to get on a platform up with the pianos. And I'm like the fifth guy up there. And they start singing happy birthday. And all of a sudden, the closer piano player to me goes, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "It's not your birthday. Stand down, sir." And so
After
then
you
I
got
had to
pressured
just
to
like
go up, that's a tough draw. I mean, it's not like you're like fighting to stay up there or be up there. Who pressured you to go up?
just the
The
mob.
mob. They saw your move. They saw your move, and that small group that saw it knew the bar needed the electricity that was coming off it to be on the stage. I think that's what happened.
If I had one more drink in me, I should have, as I was being escorted off the stage, just hit the Rasputin and saw myself all the way out of the bar.
Yeah. Use it as a means of transportation.
Yeah.
Dude, that is always fun when you're I mean, similarly, I feel like I don't go out in a major way like very frequently, but this last Friday was like that after the podcast, and I had a similar, I guess I couldn't identify a singular dance move I invented or did, but it was like, you know, a couple of the people we've mentioned on the pod out and about at this new kind of clubby downtown location called Ava in Minneapolis. And we are friends with the two DJs who were playing that night. Shout out Spin Zone Radio. Shout out McG. Everybody go give them a listen. Follow on SoundCloud. And they were just playing banger after banger. And I mean, I had pretty much drank that entire bottle of wine by the time we were getting out there. And so there was a lot of experimental dance moves going on.
Can you give us
I mean,
any sense of what you may have been trotting out there? Was it a lot of hand motions, or were you getting the legs involved
it
like
was
I was
kind
on
of a little bit
Saturday?
of both. Like they were working in unity.
Oh,
Like there was like I would say it leaned more hand though, because it
more
was
hand, yeah.
yeah, kind of just I guess like
Like,
flow. Yeah,
like
like
flapping like
the
this?
what's the hand thing?
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah.
had a buddy that used to always do this.
Stretch out his wrist. But yeah, so all to say, you know, we were both right there. But it was fun. It was fun. It's been a minute since I've been on the dance floor like that.
I definitely paid for my
Oh,
sins
same.
afterwards. The dueling piano bar wasn't even my last destination. I wound up at a club in the Mission called Bergerac. I mean, that just sounds terrifying.
Did you get a pupusa from one of the stands on the way home?
Well, no, I mean, I went off this huge, like, anti-wheat rant.
Oh, pupusa has wheat.
Yeah, I didn't get a I didn't get a papoose.
I don't know. My little
No.
birdies tell me there might have been some pupusas consumed that night, so I don't know. But continue. I'll take your
I
word
did
at
end
face
up at
value.
our local late night pizza
Oh
spot.
no.
Not 1, but 2 slices of pizza, and just took the gluten straight to the face. Woke up the next day in absolute hell.
It wasn't the drinking or the dancing or the lack of sleep. It was the gluten that got you. I know it.
It was the gluten.
You saw the hard work you had put in evaporate. Whenever you relapse on something as serious as gluten, it's the disappointment of what you've lost in your own discipline and self-control. You start to question when you start consuming gluten again, who am I? And what are
Yeah.
my values? Because I clearly can't stick to any of the ones that I, you know, share outwardly. I'm eating gluten again. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Seriously. Yeah, of everything that I did that night, I mean, I woke up with a ton of
Oh
anxiety,
yeah.
as one does after clubbing on a Saturday. Most anxious about the gluten consumption. Seeing that empty pizza box, I got a Meat Lovers, and I found, like, a lone sausage chunk just on the ground.
So here's a question: did you eat the crust? No, that's like
Gummy
pure
crust.
gluten.
It's pure gluten, and I knew what I was doing.
I mean, I've, you know, in many different aspects been down this road and disappointed myself. It's tough, but you know what? You're sober from gluten for 24 hours right now. Or,
Yeah.
it's you can only take it a day at a time. Like if you get to 24 hours, then the shot clock resets. You got to put up another 24.
I did something crazy yesterday in the office.
What'd you do?
We had breakfast burritos brought in, and I was starving.
Oh.
Burrito, tortilla, just like a gluten bomb, like a landmine of
Yeah,
gluten just waiting to go
that's gonna
off.
ruin your week if you touch that.
I took one, and I just did like a psychopath move, and
De-shelled it.
I de-shelled the
Yeah.
gluten, and so then I just had the yummy insides, which honestly, it's amazing once I've tried to stop eating gluten, how little sustenance I'm noticing in food, specifically sandwiches. Like, have you ever gotten a sandwich and contemplated not putting bread on it?
It's
Like,
nothing.
I mean, it is
It's
nothing.
unimpressive. Very unimpressive. I was thinking about that the other day too, because I had gotten groceries and I was like, and I hadn't for a while, so I was eating a very like snackish diet. It's so easy to do the easy thing, but you feel so much better if you just make a meal because you're never like full if you're not eating real food. So I suppose in slight contrast to how you felt the following day from your night out, I after that night out, I went on to have maybe the best day ever. So Saturday, oh yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. So because it's like anything, you need to have pain to have, or a better way to phrase it is like you need sadness to have happiness. And this day had it all. There was peaks, there was valleys. It was very true to life. And so it starts with my alarm clock. So like that prior night, we had gotten back to my place at like 4 a.m. And I had told my buddy had texted me like when I was out, you're going to basketball tomorrow morning, right? And I was like, yup, I'll be there for sure. Like count on it.
What
Count on
time?
it. 10:30. 10:30. So very like, and he texted me this at like maybe like 10 p.m. So like there was no doubt in my mind. I was like, I mean, I'm getting home at like 2:30 at the latest, and like it's fine. And so that really was not how it happened. But so I wake up at 10, alarm clock's going off. I'm feeling nauseous. I'm not feeling good. I get to the basketball court, very happy to even just show up and lace up the shoes. One of the first plays of the game, I'm trying to grab a board. My teammate is too. We're at the free throw line, and he incidentally knees me like square in the nuts. And so I'm like already battling kind of a sense of nauseousness just from moving around, and then you just get drilled in the nuts. So I'm like, I'm gonna puke. This is
Oh,
terrible. And so I walk it off for a second, keep playing, don't puke, which was good. But we go through the basketball, ton of fun, sweat out like all the hung, really. Then went
wow.
the Northeast Farmers Market is a block away from there. So I go there, I'm screwing around there, buy some random stuff, feeling good, still feeling goofy, like, and I'm with my buddy. Then we go get lunch at this Lebanese deli. And mind you, at the Northeast Farmers Market, Earl Giles had a stand where we each bought something. So we got to spin this wheel. What I won,
What is Earl Guile?
Earl Giles is a bar restaurant in Northeast that's like
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
And so I got a BOGO drink my next visit. This will come into play later. And so then go get lunch. It's awesome. Emily's Lebanese Deli. Everybody go check it out. I had the lamb shank. We both had the lamb shank. It's epic. And so I'm feeling great. I'm like, I've beat my hangover. And now what am I going to do with the rest of the day? It's about 1:30 at this time. And then I remember I have a massage on the books for 2:30 p.m. And I've gotten one other massage in my entire life. It was like a couples massage. And so I was very excited about like the solo experience. It's all about me.
What compelled you to purchase a singles massage?
So my dad had given me and the buddy who I'd run a marathon with gift card certificates. And so I had just, yeah, I mean, it was free outside of the tip. And I was like, it had been 3 weeks, 4 weeks since the marathon. So I was finally feeling like good enough to even like go get a massage.
Do you think they were massaging something out? Like if you would have done it the week
Oh
after
my,
and you're
I
just
would have
like,
been in pain.
ah.
Yeah. Like it would have just been bad. But I go in there and these people, very laid back vibe. I'm feeling very welcome, very zen. And she's asking me what my problem spots are. I go, my knees, just ran this marathon. They're destroyed. Like, please focus on those and my shoulders. And we're like talking the whole time, which was kind of strange.
An hour-long
Yep,
massage, right?
60 minutes.
And you just chatted up your masseuse.
Yeah, I was yapping in a major way. And but it wasn't like, I wasn't just like volunteering random shit. It was more like, I don't know. I don't know if this was like her masseuse technique to help pass the time for her or pass the time for me or whatever. But she had asking me questions and was just ended up talking literally the entire time.
I've only had 2 or 3 massages in my life. Never once have I exchanged any dialogue with the masseuse.
Part of this, I think I brought on myself because, and like, to be clear, I enjoyed that. I do think to some extent it limited my focus on like the sensation of the massage while it was happening, but I certainly felt like relaxed and like loose afterwards. But I told her kind of the bad experience I had had at this previous massage. It wasn't like truly a bad experience, but I remember at the end of it, I was doing like my report out thing with my masseuse, and I was saying like, you know, what do I need to think about? What do I need to stretch? Whatever. And I remember my previous masseuse was telling me, you know, think about that shoulder, but just so you know, you were resisting me throughout this massage. And I was like, what do you mean I was resisting you? I was like laying flat as a board, just getting worked on. This is not the single massage. This was the couples massage. And so I'd shared that with her, which I think encouraged her to be relatively like vocal throughout and communicative so that if I was resisting, I guess I would know or something. But anyway, it was awesome. I think you and Lindy and every listener should go get a massage. Like, you cannot have a bad day when you do this. Felt so refreshed, so good after. And similarly, I did ask what do I need to think about? And she was like, to be honest, you were riddled in knots. Like, literally everywhere
Oh.
in your body is just a knot. So
Oh,
you need to
no.
stretch. You need to stop eating gluten. Like, no more soda. She didn't say that, but like, it was like pretty much just like, you know, it can't get too much worse. So like, just try and relax, I guess.
Relax.
But it's funny too, because I was talking about the talking during the massage with my dad afterwards, and he was saying he does it too. But what he is always talking about is he's trying to understand the masseuse's psychology surrounding giving massages. Like, what does this do? What is the, you know, benefit? What is your specific style and stuff like that? Versus my mom, like everybody else on earth, just like sits quiet as a board and enjoys it. But I think it's like
You guys are really putting your masseurs to
yeah,
work. I mean, that
yeah,
is a
it's not
lot of
just
effort from
physical. It's
them.
like it's a mental battle for them too. So but anyway, that was awesome. And then to end the day, I got home. All right, spent some time with my parents, and then I got home and was like, oh, I don't really have anything to do. And so I was like kind of curled up into bed a little early, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Fell asleep until 9 a.m. the next day. 13-hour sleep.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So it was just,
You felt like
yeah,
Superman
I
coming
felt
out of there.
awesome. So it was, yeah, it was a great day. And keep in mind, I did get a BOGO, drink BOGO at Earl Giles. So now I will tie the knot on the story. So the BOGO comes back into play. Wednesday, I go to the Twins game and I'm leaving. The game ends at like 3:20. I get back to the parking ramp and I get into my car at 3:30. It is a 15-minute drive with traffic home. So I should be home by like 3:50 latest. I do not get out of this parking ramp until I want to say 5:15. I'm on level 6. I'm sitting in line forever for the exits to the highway, which was already stupid because it's faster for me to take like the city streets instead. And then when I get up there, I don't know if there was like a crash in like the loop de loop, like twirly thing down or what happened, but they started funneling
Oh.
people out of that. So then I go to the end of the line. I've been literally waiting there for an hour and 30 minutes. Go to the end of the line in the exits to the streets, wait another hour, and then I'm out. But to make this situation even murkier, there are two factors. Number one, When I got into my car, I really had to pee, like badly. And so I'm like
Oh.
antsy and I'm unhappy and everything is frustrating me. Like people not like moving an inch right away when another car moves is pissing me off. And then to compound all of this, about 10 to 15 minutes into my wait, my phone dies and I do not have a car charger with me. So I'm just like raw
Oh my
dogging this thing.
gosh.
Also, my AC doesn't work.
So you're just hot,
Yeah.
bored, annoyed, and have to pee, and you have no chance of even knowing when the end
Yeah.
is near.
It was honestly, I mean, I guess it makes me very happy I don't commute now, although this is like, this is just like being caught in standstill traffic for hours. Like it's just hell. It was just crazy, dude, to be raw dogging reality in that moment because I think the thing that really hurt me is my expectations. I was like, I'm going to be home at 3:45. This is going to be awesome. I'll jump on my computer. I don't have too much to do because I was at the Twins game that day. Like, I don't, so, and I was, just minute by minute sitting there, no phone, no outlet, no nothing to like entertain myself. Like, I was flipping through radio channels, it's driving me crazy. Like, it sucked. It just reminded me how much I hate the radio.
Is it radio still all ads? I
A
remember
lot
when
of
I was, like, a
ads.
kid driving to school or with my parents anywhere, we'd throw on the radio and you'd get, like, 3 songs in a 40-minute car ride,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Like, they'd always be, like, building up to this big countdown, top 40, where they go ad-free for an hour, but
Yeah.
leading up to that hour, it's, like, 2.5 hours of ads with, like, a song or 2 sprinkled in, and then it's usually the most basic song that you've heard a
Yeah.
million
The
times.
top of the charts. Like, yeah, you've heard it a trillion times.
The one that just destroyed
Hmm.
me was, "See You Again," Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa. I've heard that song far too many times than I cared to share. I mean, and it was always through the radio. I never, like, seeked that out. I just kept hearing it.
I guess I didn't necessarily what surprised me, and I didn't actually hate when they did this, they put on Rihanna's Disturbia at some point, and I was like, "They're still playing this song?" Like, the last time I was listening to radio with any consistency, like, 10 plus years ago, they were playing Disturbia, so I guess, if it's not broke, don't
I
fix
think
it.
Disturbia might have been pre-2010.
Yeah, it was out when we were entering high school, like almost certainly. But here's the other thing. So this radio station did this segment where a man called in to voice a concern about his wife. And so they say, "What's worrying you about this?" And he goes, "Well, my wife has been telling me for the last 6 months 3 times a week she'll go to the gym, and I'm concerned that she's not going to the gym, but instead in those 3 sessions a week going and cheating on me." And they go, "Why would you think that? Like, are you just being paranoid?" And he goes, "I'm not seeing the results of the gym to like confirm to me that, and he's like talking about her weight and figure and stuff. And then
Oh.
so like just you already know it's going a very trashy direction. But then get this. They go, "Okay, you can jump off mute." They had his wife sitting on the call too. And so then she just starts like laying into him. And I mean, like, rightfully so. She goes, at some point, she's like, "You know why I go to the gym? You know why I go to the gym? It's to get away from you." And like he's just furious and saying, "You don't want to work on this relationship?" And then like the radio people are just laughing it off and going, "All right, like seems like we've got them where they need to be. We'll move to the next caller." And I'm like, what segment did this person think he was calling into? Like, how to ruin my marriage? I couldn't believe it. Obviously, that was a troubled relationship. He was also like kind of scummy, but I just couldn't believe that was the quality of discourse going on there. Like, it was interesting, but it was so trashy.
I feel like if you're that guy, how do you not think you're getting baited?
His name was Todd. He did not go anonymous. Like, that's the other thing that's crazy about like maybe getting away with it. I'm not sure. I've listened to like a lot of other podcasts that do take callers that give advice, which I think is awesome. And it was just so black and white. People who are trying to be helpful and people who are like, this will perk up the listener's ears. Like, I just felt like it was, I mean, it's too bad. Like, obviously, there's no issue like flaming some dude for being a jackass to his wife. Like, should do that. But the obvious pain she was experiencing, having to like go through that too, it's like, this is just like a sad thing. Like, what are we doing here?
And you didn't know she was lying in wait.
No,
Like, they
no.
just ambushed
Ambush.
everybody, including the
Ambush.
listener. Wow.
Okay. And so fine. And this is arriving at a point, I swear. And so I don't even get home in time to like relax or do anything. I then have to turn around and go to Earl Giles, coincidentally, for my cousin's birthday. So I get to the parking lot. I've been in my car for like 3.5 hours at this point. I'm super pissed. Again, the AC is not working. It's like 83 degrees out. I'm hot. And get to the parking lot. Nothing's available. My GPS, as I'm like doing a lap around the surrounding area, sends me into a dead end. And I've just like had enough. So I park super far away and I'm just like, screw it. I'm walking. I'm done being in my car. And
Yeah.
I get a text because I sent them like, sorry, I'm going to be a little bit late. Like there was no spots in the lot. I get a text the second I'm like just out of distance of my car to just get right back in it. One of my cousin's wife texts in our group chat, there's I can see 5 open spots in the parking lot right now. And so in my hurry to get out of my car, I left the BOGO ticket in my car. So I also did not even
No.
do that. And so
You paid in
paid in
full.
full. And it would have been great because I could have BOGO'd, gotten like my birthday cousin a free drink, which I suppose, just pick it up. Like I'll go to it's not a total loss because I'll go to Earl again and redeem that. But
Yeah.
that was like just such a flip from like a perfectly relaxing Saturday where I'm doing everything I want to like everything going wrong. I mean, the birthday celebration was fun, don't get me wrong. Like that was sweet, but just everything, all transit activities on Wednesday made me like really question my patience. It was a test.
Well, thank God you had a massage and 13 hours of
Yeah.
sleep.
I don't know how it would have gone without that. I mean, it would have been bad.
Poorly. If I had to imagine, it would have went poorly. And speaking of things potentially going poorly,
Blind tasting.
blind tasting time. I
Yeah.
think it's probably about that time to
All
get
right,
into
let's
it.
do it.
So, how about you take a sip and I can start to introduce a little bit more about Poppy. So Poppy Pinot Noir is from Monterey, California. That's like a long valley that stretches about 90 miles up and down like central coast of California, but like on the water. You're pretty much on the 101. And so hot climates down in the south of Monterey produce like really good Syrahs and Cabernet. And then the cool climates up in North Monterey produce these knock you out Pinot Noirs. But it doesn't necessarily have the Sonoma tag on it, which is why we are probably getting it for a slightly lower price point than it deserves. And with that intro, Charlie,
I'm just gonna take a huge risk here. I'm gonna swing for the fences. I feel that what I'm about to say almost cannot be correct. I mean, it is darker in color. There are lighter reds. I've just in pure tone of the red, but it's not like the Syrah that we had that was super bold and like kind of dark fruit. But I guess I just got to go with my gut, and I can only hedge it so much. I guess plum. Plum is a note I'm going with here.
and how good do you feel about that guess?
I feel it's wrong, but it's true to my experience.
Okay. So that's one of the things about wine tasting that's beautiful. It is all about what you taste.
Thank you.
Plum is not included in the tasting notes, but that's not to say that you're not close, Charlie. It is a fruit forward Pinot.
So the other thing that was kind of clawing at the back of my palate behind an overwhelming surge of plum was cranberry.
Not on the board, but these are brave guesses, and you're like right around it. Like if I had a list of fruit, you're like jumping the fruits that you probably should be guessing
I
with
mean, that
these.
makes me think like strawberry, blackberry, but I didn't really like get a ton of that. Is that
Well, so strawberry is one.
okay?
That is number 2 of the tasting notes.
Okay. Oh, cherry?
Yes. Yes. Cherry and strawberry,
Yeah.
specifically underripe strawberry.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little bitter. It's like not it's not sweet. you know? I mean, I'm sure there's like quite a bit of sugar in it, but it doesn't hit you like that. The other thing, this is where I might be able to bring it back on track, or I might just go right back off the rails, but I got to go for it. Is there any like pepper note that's cited in there?
Ooh,
Little pepper?
yes, Charlie. Little
Let's
pepper, a little bit of
go.
white pepper.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good.
So you've hit on a spice, you've hit on a fruit. The last thing we try to do is earth. And if there's one thing about Pinot Noirs is they all tend to be a little earthy.
I
I
mean,
want you to see if you could take a shot at the
yeah.
earth note.
So I'm tempted. I'm tempted by the flower that is on the front of the bottle to just say, because poppy is a flower, right? That's not my guess yet.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna be the poppy flower. Think more comes from the earth. It comes from the ground.
Mushroom.
Yes. Yes.
It's earthy, dude. I was just thinking like, what kind of because it does have like a muddled is the wrong word that would suggest that like the notes aren't clear, but I guess I don't even know why I think mushroom.
So the tasting notes on this one officially are cherry, underripe strawberry, white pepper, and
I feel
mushroom.
good about mushroom.
Yeah. You just nailed the one earth note that they had called
I
out.
think there might be another earth note though.
Oh, what do you get?
Well, actually, no. I've taken enough swings today.
Well, so here's the thing is wine tasting is extremely subjective. Like if you would have told me there was a leather belt in here or gunpowder, I'd believe you. Like
Yeah.
it's all beauty is in the eye of beholder or the palate of the taster.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah. Didn't mean to get
Oh,
deep on you here.
wow. I like that.
I'm going to see if I can't suss out another tasting note
I'm
out
looking
of
at the
this thing.
back. Let me just take a peek.
Did the sommelier from Trader Joe's hit any of the actual tasting notes or were they completely off?
They do not list a single tasting note here, which honestly, I think it's not Bush League because like similar to what we've been saying, it's on the palate of the taster, but I do kind of like to know, like, if I'm looking at a bottle or like considering it, what's going to be the primary taste.
It's an interesting take because I'm trying to think. We've been drinking a lot of cheap wine on this podcast, which is generally mass produced.
Yeah.
As you get more specific with the region it's grown, where the grapes come from, because a lot of wineries will buy grapes from elsewhere to put in their wine. But like if you grow these grapes on your vineyard and it's like a very specific plot of land, like that's called terroir. And the more terroir you have with your wine, the more it's seen as like a elevated wine. It's going to be more expensive down to the winemaker. Like when you really get up there, there's certain winemakers that are known as being complete beasts in the industry.
Bobby Mondavi.
Exactly. Big Bobby Mondavi is like
Yeah.
a big time winemaker.
He's the man.
He's the man. Or whoever that winery hires. Like they definitely, I know they have like the Robert Mondavi, like cheaper brand, but like they also own probably some of the best real estate in the entire world when it comes to wine. So like they spit out some bangers every once in a while. But all that to say, I'd like to see like $100 bottle of wine if they put anything on there because they're going to have the terroir, but they like, what if they do put the tasting notes? I don't think they do. I feel like the clean label, like
Yeah.
just leave it up to a som to figure it out. I agree with you. I like knowing what I'm tasting, but
I'm coming around to your point too, because part of the fun of it can be exactly what we're doing. And hopefully, some listeners out there may be doing with us, which is giving it a try. And like I feel like honestly like doing the blind stuff even with today, really not starting in a very good place, you know it helps you learn or like suss out notes if you try it yourself. It's like, I mean, it's just like in school, like you don't learn by not taking a test and testing your knowledge. Like you need to prove it.
we're in the field.
Yeah, we're
We're like
doing,
foot soldiers out
yeah,
there.
I mean, we're doing the dirty work. I also, just in the interest of time, I think we got to start talking about the Olympics.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Jeez. Yeah, so we're recording on Thursday. I believe as it stands, the opening ceremonies for the Olympics are going to be tomorrow morning. It's going to be absolutely epic. And in honor of the Olympics, we wanted to trot out a segment that is centered around pairing a wine with an Olympic event.
Yep.
first thing that we had to do is we just had to research a bunch of Olympic events. I think I might have taken the low hanging fruit with like gymnastics and swimming, but Charlie, I saw that in the notes you had a few more niche
Yeah,
events that
I was doing a different style of research where I was just trying to think of some oddball stuff because to your point, I think every year people are excited about gymnastics, they're excited about swimming, like fastest fastest
track
man,
and
like
field.
yeah, what do they call that? On the website they call it athletics, which I was kind of rattled
Yeah,
by.
it's athletics, which is just track and
Yeah.
field. But I mean, then you get your shot put, you get your hurdles.
So I just wanted to go a little weird with it. So do you want me to start?
Yeah, I would like you to start.
So here is the first thing that caught my eye as I was looking at the event calendar. So I love basketball, but this seems odd. So we have the 5 versus 5 basketball that has been a staple of the Olympics forever, but the first time that a 3 versus 3 format by country was introduced to the Olympics was 2020 Tokyo Games, which was actually held in 2021. But the United States men will make their first Olympic 3 versus 3 appearance at the 2024 Paris Olympics. And so to honor this, kind of momentous event, the first time that we are entering this competition, you would think we're rolling out stars, people that represent the USA basketball to the best that it can be represented.
Can I venture a guess? I know absolutely nothing about 3-on-3 basketball, but to just play off your point here, basketball is a very individual sport at the end of the day. Like the stars rise to the top. The stars are the ones that win championships. You build a team around a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant.
Anthony
Like that's how
Edwards.
you win in basketball.
Yeah.
Anthony
Yeah.
Edwards. Yes. So with that in mind, I would put the three biggest superstars we have, or at least complementary stars. And I'd probably
Wait. Before you do that, though, keep in mind it would be people who are not on the 5 versus 5 roster. So like LeBron, Durant, like all Joel Embiid, Drew Holiday. So they cannot participate in both.
okay. But our 5v5 is extremely talented. So I feel like you do want to medal in both. Why wouldn't we still just go LeBron, Steph Curry, and Anthony Edwards?
And fill those spots with other people on the 5 versus
Yeah.
5. Yeah, I
Don't we have
agree.
like such a deep
We
roster
have an
of
insanely deep I mean, even if you took the people who did not make the 5 versus 5 team and put them, I mean, I'm just going to read you the four. It's a 4-person team. You ready for these names?
yeah.
Canyon Barry, Kareem Maddox, Dylan Travis, and Jimmer Fredette. The only
I
name,
recognize
yes,
one
Jimmer
of those
from his
names.
college career
Jimmer
at
from
BYU.
college.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, so he played 7 seasons in the NBA, and then like I'm pretty sure played in China for a little bit. But I mean, all of these guys have not had any NBA success. They are all 30 or older, just washed up dudes. Yeah.
They got beer bellies out there, like
Yeah.
throwing out their
They got their
pack.
hands on their knees after one up and down.
What makes this so different from 5v5? I mean, is this like pickleball to tennis, where if you're kind of like a tennis reject, you'd start playing
I
pickleball?
mean, maybe to some extent, I don't know. I was actually doing a little bit of research on some of them. Like these are people who have played this sort of 3v3 format in FIBA, so like they have some experience doing this. But yeah, I mean, just at
Why
face
is this a
value,
sport?
I just thought it was.
Why is this a
I
sport?
agree.
This
I
is dumb.
agree.
We already have 5v5 basketball. I don't need to watch 3v3. Like, there's so many other obscure sports out there that we could add.
If this had real star power, I'd totally watch it. I'd love it. I just think it's kind of ridiculous. And then on top of that, it kind of mimics Ice Cube's league in the US, the Big 3, which is like pretty much for retired NBA players. So it's just weird. It doesn't seem like it totally meets the bar of like what should be an Olympic event or like something that is to be honored at the highest level. And clearly to me, like the roster that they put forward doesn't inspire me to go view it to its fullest extent. So this is my recommendation for wine with it.
Yeah, if you were to view it, what are we gonna be sipping,
So you
Charlie?
are going to be sipping the Cherry Blossom Pinot Noir from Trader Joe's, which I could talk about this wine for a long time. It is one of the worst wines I've ever had in my life. We did not do this on the pod. This is like out and about in the world drinking this wine. I made the mistake and had the misfortune of encountering it 2 times. I've had it twice, 2 different bottles.
Oh my
Both
god.
bottles were just out of this world off-putting bad. And so I suggest you pour yourself a tall glass of Cherry Blossom Pinot Noir, turn this on, and just sewer your night.
What were the tasting notes? Diaper rash and poop?
Yeah, a little bit of petrol oil too. I mean, it's
Petrol oil,
just
yeah.
really tough stuff, and impossible to enjoy. It's very bad.
Better or worse than a big
Worse,
churn?
worse without a doubt, dude.
Worse than
I
big
remember when
churn.
I was thinking about the pairing, I was like, maybe, yeah, Big Churn comes to mind because we've done that, but Big Churn is not bad enough to do this pairing. Like Cherry Blossom is like honestly like I love Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's wine section, but that's the worst thing they have in stock, and they have it in stock everywhere. Honestly, like go try it because you'll then appreciate every other wine so much more. It's terrible.
Jesus. Oh,
All right, to you.
I kinda wanna try
You
that now.
should.
I
You
mean,
should.
all right. Well, I'm just gonna hit the non-obscure gymnastics. I think this is probably the event I'm most excited for. I feel like I have the most vested interest too, simply because I want to see Simone Biles
Oh yeah.
succeed after her disappointing Olympic showing where she got, I think, the twisties back in 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about her. She can jump.
She can dump 20 feet.
It's like 12 in the air, and she's not even 5 feet tall. So that is, to anybody viewing, that is absolutely insanely
But to be
impressive.
clear,
I
right,
don't,
that has to be on like the gymnastics like bouncy floor. Nobody can jump 2x their
dude,
height.
it's on the mat. I don't know if the mat's bouncy or not. I've never been on
Well,
one,
yeah, we'll just have
frankly,
to
but
what's the wine selection? We'll have to sip that and do our own little research.
well, because this is the main event, Charlie, I think you spend up.
Okay.
I think you go Cabernet, which is the best wine out there in the world. Big, bold. And I think you maybe go a little niche. I want to say you are spending way up and you are getting a bottle of Screaming Eagle Cabernet.
Oh.
And we'll go with 2016 vintage.
Oh.
And I'll let the listeners do their research. That's a nice bottle.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I can't disagree. Gymnastics is a classic. I mean, I remember watching it growing up. It's nostalgic. There's something that's kind of interesting about that too, because outside of the Olympics, both that and swimming, I'm like generally disinterested in.
Oh yeah,
Um,
never watch it.
but there
Yeah.
is something when like you appreciate the stakes a little more. And it's also nice to, just try and watch something you don't always watch. So like that's kind of the beauty of the Olympics as a whole. Like there's just so much cool stuff that, you don't like fencing I saw on the list. I was like, I've never watched fencing once, but like maybe I will. Like, who knows? All right, here we go. Breakdancing. That's my next one.
That's an Olympic
It's
sport.
yes, dude. So it's returning to the Olympics for the second time. It debuted in the 2018 Buenos Aires Games. Don't know why they didn't run it in Tokyo, but feels like a no-brainer to me. And no disrespect to the floor routine portion of gymnastics, but I feel that this event, as a viewer, could be more hype because it's easier to understand and evaluate as a fan. Like there's the way you judge gymnastics, like bars, floor, all of that. I am fully confident in the criteria that they levy against them and that it's fairly scored. But I'm not accustomed nor do I understand that criteria.
To the untrained eye, it is impossible.
Yeah, and so I just think this is an easy one to be like, if they're doing well, and it's if you're hyped up, and once they're done dancing, you're kind of busting a move, like you're getting off your couch, like strutting your stuff. And so I feel like fun event. I would pair it again. We're going back to Trader Joe's. This is this is. I'm not sure why I thought of this, but the $3.99 bottle of Charles Shaw Merlot. So
Yeah, the 2 buck chuck or
yeah,
whatever.
dude. Just because there's a couple things that are good about it. Well-rounded, medium-bodied, low acidity, and most importantly, high ABV. Because I feel like you're gonna want to get your buzz on watching people like break it down. It just seems like an event made for the casual observer, and so I like that. That's my second pick. So what do you have as your next one?
So mine is the men's 100-meter dash,
Classic.
Usain Bolt's domain.
Yeah.
And on this one, here's what I'm thinking. The event is over almost as soon as it gets started, and to me, that screams having a wine that is in my glass that I just, like, love so much, and also every time I'm drinking it, it just disappears. Like, I just it's goes down so quickly. This is a fun event. I'm thinking light, I'm thinking bubbles.
Oh.
I'm thinking champagne.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And it's like a little celebratory too, you know. That'd be a really nice way to kick it off. Like a little bubbly. You got some people over at your place and then settle in with a table wine. Okay. I'll go to my last one. I won't belabor this because again, I'm going way off the beaten path. Sport climbing also making a return to the Olympics. It's like not really been a long-standing event, as I'm sure you all know.
Dude, this is the event that I've heard climbers, like real climbers, bitch about because they feel like because there's a time
Yeah,
element to
yeah.
it too. Like you're against the clock, which will be exciting. But I know there was one like epic climber back in the day that attempted to compete in the Olympics and just like embarrassed himself and pretty much swore off Olympic climbing because he was like, this is a joke.
So I'm gonna blast through the description of this because that's kind of true to this. It's an indoor rock climbing competition with a 49-foot inverted wall, 3 different events. Lead event is the athletes scaling the 49-foot wall in 6 minutes without having seen the route beforehand. So I'm sure just very, very challenging route. Because 6 minutes is like a long time on the wall, but I'm sure
Yeah.
Um, they'll be able to handle that. Then it's speed climbing. Scale the same wall in one-on-one elimination rounds. The wall features holds that make it more and more difficult to reach the top, unlike the lead event. And then the last one is bouldering. So 13-foot wall, but no safety rope, and it's all about speed on the last wall. So I mean, it just like screams like you're gonna hurt yourself, but it's gonna be awesome. I mean, I've seen like if you've what's like the classic Netflix documentary about climbing.
Free
Free
solo.
Solo. I mean, this is not that, but like just all climbing stuff I kind of love. Like my family has done some climbing. We've talked about climbing a little bit. I just think it's interesting and the people who are great at it are like these long, lithe, like equal parts graceful and powerful people. Like it's just cool to see them do what they're gonna do. So
This sounds awesome. I'm definitely tuning in.
yeah.
This will be a fun event. I mean, as somebody who's bouldered and sucks at it,
Yeah.
like, I have a
Like a
huge
pro.
respect for
It's like
what
them
these
running
pros
up
are
the
gonna
wall,
do.
dude. Like I've seen some speed climbing before and it's mind-blowing. Like they go 40 yards vertical before I could run 40 yards. It's insane how fast they climb. But I'm pairing this with the classic Mezza Corona Pinot Grigio. You combine something completely foreign, new to the Olympic Games with something you know you're gonna love. You're going to honeysuckle heaven. You're down in the whole bottle. Your buzz will be beyond cultivated by the time they get to the speed climb and the dangerous bouldering. So I mean, it's just gonna be a sweet event. I'm gonna watch it. I hope other people do too. I go with the Grigio Mezza Corona at Trader Joe's. Very fairly priced. Great bottle.
So this one's tough because I was typing up my notes, and I didn't actually get to the wine that I'm gonna recommend.
Okay.
I will lay this up to you, and maybe we tag
Yeah,
team
yeah,
this
yeah.
one and figure out a wine because I think I know what I want. I don't know the exact type of wine. And this last one that I want to talk about is archery,
Oh,
which is objectively
interesting.
not that fun of a sport to watch on TV because it's basically like the person holding the bow and then they show the target, but that's it. Like there's no way to really show like them shooting. It happens so fast. It's like really hard to
Connect with the athlete.
yeah, I'm not an archer. I don't know the difficulty of this. Like, I get if you put a bullseye, that's awesome. I suck at darts. So, I understand that and appreciate that it's a challenging sport, but I cannot enjoy it on TV. But what I do know about archery is it takes a lot of composure
Oh
and it
yeah.
takes a lot of balance.
Yeah.
So where I was going with this is you would want to be drinking a balanced wine so that you could become one with the archer.
Hmm. I feel like it's gotta be a red. I'm thinking like a medium bodied red, I feel like. Maybe you could go bold too, but
I think not bold. I think medium on the palate. I think you're gonna wanna do a Zinfandel.
Ooh,
A
okay.
perfectly balanced Zinfandel.
We haven't had a Zinfandel in a while.
Was it Klein
Yeah,
Vineyards from Trader Joe's?
no, I don't think the Zen was Klein. I thought that was a I thought we had a Klein Pinot Grigio or something that I really liked.
Klein
Or
was a
no, it was a
red,
Pinot
but
Noir, I think. I'm not sure. I need Jamie's gonna get fired after this podcast for this performance. But dude, one other thing that makes me think of in high school, we had like a gun range in the high school because it was a military academy, and
oh,
so
wow.
for one semester of like or one unit of gym, you could either go to the gun range and try and get this like sharpshooter medal that they would award you if you were good enough at it, or it was like something else that sucked. I can't remember what the unit was, but I was like, all right, I'll do the shooting. And I have like my whole life have had horribly shaky hands. Like I could never be a surgeon. I don't know why I thought this would be something I could be good at. Like you think like, you breathe in and steady it, pull the trigger, it should be easy enough, right?
Yeah.
And I was just god awful. And then it came to
Oh,
the time
no.
where you're taking your test to get the sharpshooter medal. And I remember like my first few shots are like a 3 like outside of the target completely, and then like the military instructor who was supervising it very mercifully came over on my official test, took one of the shots for me, got a 10 like straight up the middle, and then gave me his like premium like super sharpshooter rifle and was like, just all you need is like 2 8s on the way out and you'll get it. And luckily, like that gun was just so much better, I guess. I don't know. I was still trash, but yeah. And so they gave me like this nice sharpshooter medal, which I
Dude,
like
that's pretty
totally did
cool.
not deserve in any way. Like, so that was kind of fun. But I just think all that to say, I think archery would be really, really challenging too, at least for somebody with
Oh,
my
yeah.
skill set. I wonder what the weight of the cord is that they're pulling back. Because have you ever shot a bow? They're like
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like,
hard.
yeah, they're harder than you think. Yeah. All right. Well, what any other thoughts before we wrap it?
I'm excited. I think we've went a little long on this pod, so we probably do need to wrap it, but I'm excited for the Olympics. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. I feel like as I get older, I get more impressed with the Olympics, like just seeing what these people can do and just how they like push their bodies to the extreme and just knowing that I would never even attempt any of this. Like now I'm kind of at the point where I'm just aggressively impressed by any feat of athleticism. So follow us on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We have a TikTok that we never talk about, but you can follow us there too. But maybe Instagram. I mean, that's where you're getting all of your content first. And thanks all for watching. Really appreciate the support. Again, let us know. Send us texts. Like our videos. Follow us. We're around every week. So hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you again next week.